gosh. Look at that. Splinter. Ooh. All right, and welcome back to week number 9 of the garden updates. We're starting off by tilling up some of the ground just to get rid of a lot of those weeds. Um, I'm usually not a fan of tilling. However, I just got so many weeds and I got to figure out a way to better keep these out next year. I just got these raised beds, so I didn't know all the
Right.
weeds that were in there. So we got that tilled up and we're now planting some tomatillos. We're actually finishing up planting of all my starts this year and some of my seeds. So these are the tomatillos. We're getting those in the ground now. I also got some jalapenos here to plant. Those are the ones I'm planting now. This might be a tomatillo. No, these are jalapenos. So I got 6 jalapenos I'm planting here. I had already planted a few in another spot, but I'm planting those just for pickling. Um, and then here's my herbs. So I got 4 different types, 4 or 5. So I got peppermint there. So I had already planted some, but I'm finishing planting the rest of my starters. So these are peppermint plants on the end. This is some thyme. I actually have 2 types of thyme. Those were these ones next here. So 2 types of thyme, some oregano, and then some sage. And then I had already finished planting the basil um, to the left of the camera here. Yep, so there's the basil. We started using that already. That's why it's kind of looking a little rough, but it will grow back better if you use it.
So we got our cucumbers here. And what we're going to do is plant them behind the asparagus so that they can grow up the fence.
So, yep, you hear that. I'm planting the cucumbers. I planted, I don't know, 8? Yeah, about 8 of them. So I have a few left over. Um, Actually gave some to my parents to use, but they didn't need all of them. So I don't know what I'll do with the rest, but better to have leftover. Oh, here's actually me planting those other peppers. So there's another jalapeno right there. I think I only planted 1 over here. So I think I have 7 jalapenos, a couple bell peppers, some Anaheim chili.
Now, time to transplant some tomatoes. So we got some Roma and some San Marzano tomatoes. Yeah, that's good.
Yep, so I'm going to be using these tomatoes for making salsa.
There we go. Got all of those planted.
Here I'm just planting some more onions. I planted these throughout the garden just to help with pest control. Um, like deer and some other pests don't like the smell, so it helps keep them away a little bit from those other plants.
All right, I got these pole beans, Kentucky Wonders. We're going to plant right over here, a few rows. I don't know how far I'll go down. I still have a few other plants that I want to get in here. So I'm going to be planting them on this edge here next to the fence, and then I'll have to train them onto it. So I'll probably just do all along this edge, and then I can plant something else in front of them. All right. So right there. So that's about 6. 6.
So yeah, I'll probably be planting some zucchini in front of those, most likely.
I'm actually gonna plant them all along this edge too, down to the asparagus. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm gonna have popcorn here, so it's gonna actually help the corn by fixing nitrogen for it. And it's just on the back side of the fence, so it's not gonna block any like. So I usually get mostly morning and noon. Then there's these trees that block a lot of the evening sun. So this will help catch any sun that leaks through the morning, and so just trying to make the most of the space. Long story short, I'm just gonna plant along back to this back edge and down uh, over this way a little bit.
Yeah, so I planted quite a few beans along this edge. And this is where I get my splinter here
Ah,
that you saw at the beginning of the
gosh,
video.
look at that splinter. Ooh,
It actually still hurts if I like press on where I got that splinter,
wow,
and I can still see where it was.
that hurt.
And this was like the beginning of the week. So I'm just covering the beans here. I planted them about an inch deep, I think, an inch, maybe an inch and a half. And then I'm gonna water those in. I haven't actually had to water too much this year, only for when planting seeds or transplants.
All right, so I started these celery plants from seed. Let's check when I. Oh, it's disintegrated. Need better marking next time. Quite a long time ago, because celery takes a long time to start growing. Started these from seeds. I'm going to plant them next to those beans I just planted. And right here.
Yeah, so usually, or at least last time I grew celery, it is a lot. Uh, like celery usually doesn't have much of a taste, like when you get it from the store. But the celery I grew last time was a lot stronger. So I don't know if I liked it better or if I liked the one from the store better.
All right, so this is the popcorn from last year that I saved. Um, could have had a lot more, but the deer ate it all because I didn't have a fence up. So that's the importance of a fence. So I'm gonna plant this. I might plant a little thicker, just because I don't know how well these would germinate. I I would think they're good. I mean, they're only a year old. I wasn't able to pick them at like the right mature age. I picked them a little early, just so I knew I could get some, and the deer didn't eat them all. So I did test a few out, and they seemed to have fine germination. So I should be okay. To there,
So I just planted 2 rows of corn
right
here,
here.
of the popcorn, and so I put them about 8 inches apart, but then I planted some extra ones afterwards.
All right, so I'm gonna
Oh,
do about
there. Yep.
eight inches apart. There's different spacing methods for corn. I think 8 inches apart. I do want it denser just for pollination. So 8 inches apart. We're about 2 feet away in rows. That should be
Yeah. So I
good.
end up putting about, so right here I'm doing 8 inches, but then I end up putting some in the middle of those just to make sure I have good germination rate. So it's about 4 inches afterwards, but then later on I'll go back and pick some of the extra ones out and thin it out.
There we go. Barely used any.
So I can probably pop that rest of that popcorn. I'll probably save some just in case the deer do somehow get these again. I think the deer could jump over my fence. However, I don't think I've seen any issues so far.
So I'm kind of running out of room. So I got watermelon, butternut squash, and then some spaghetti squash here that I want to get it in. And then I have some zucchini that I just started.
And back to me because my mic wasn't working here. So I'm just talking about where exactly I want to plant these. and how I want these to go. So I think all I was saying was like I want to plant these butternut squash, and so the zucchini will go to the left of those, and then I would plant the butternut squash and that other squash and have them climb up the corn. And then these are just some watermelon and a cantaloupe. So that's all I did this week. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below of what your favorite plant is you've planted this year. Thanks for watching.